Alrighty, let's go ahead and get started. There's a good number of people. If you have not signed into the note sheet, I would encourage you to do so. I just posted it in the chat. Start out with, could I get a designated note taker for today?
Yeah, I can do it.
I really appreciate that, Ozzy. And then new faces. I think that we do actually have one new face. Would you be willing to introduce yourself really quickly, Rushka?
Sure. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Ruchika. I'm based on the East Coast. I'm a product manager in VMware by Broadcom. And I recently joined as a PM for the Buildpacks team. So happy to be here and nice to meet everyone.
Awesome. Okay. If there are no other new faces or anyone who wants to introduce themselves, then we can go ahead and get started with outstanding RFC review. Go ahead and share my screen really quickly. Let's see, that's the Paketo working group. Alrighty, perfect. First things up, we'll start from the bottom. I have no update on decoupled dependencies from the build pack. I really don't know what the state of this is, and by that I mean, like, I don't know where I should be taking it at this point. I'm not necessarily sure how necessary I feel it is. I felt like there was a big push for and a lot of interest for it at the sort of outset of doing that, and then a lot of the interest is sort of seemingly dried up. I'm not gonna condemn this yet into sort of like not working on it, but yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where this sort of all aligns for the time being. Next up, we have proposal to publish multi-arch build packs. Jericho, is there any update on this?
So I haven't made any update, but the whole Paketo community has made lots of updates. So I feel like this document just needs to be caught up to it and merged at this point. I'm not sure. I need to do a review of it.
All right. Yeah, I think that you're right. We have some build packs that are currently multi-arch, and with the new pack 34 work, we can kind of like getting multi-architecture builds is very workable now. So I think you're just right. I think that this probably just needs to be brought up to date, and then yeah, we just gotta execute.
We have over build packs and Java build packs that are dual arch, because I started doing dual arch on all the Java build packs that were included in the Java composites, as well as the Java native image composite. And then Dan Mikusa ended up with all the remaining build packs that were related to Java but not included in composites. And he stopped when he reached two build packs that cannot be dual arch. Why? Because they are agents, and those agents are only available for x86. So yeah, nothing to do there. I mean, yeah. Well,
Datadog, is that what we're talking about? Like some agents?
basically they're agents like the one. Hey, you know what? Actually, I'm going to share you a very nice document that I wrote yesterday, and that is pretty insightful, I believe, and that basically tells you what happens with dual arch when actually you encounter when you encounter a build pack in the chain that is not dual arch. So yeah, I pasted that in Zoom. But anyway, to answer your question, those are build packs that are basically providing an agent for the JVM, and this agent was compiled with .so libraries that were themselves specific to the architecture where they were built. Basically, the error, I mean, to be more clear, the error would be something like at runtime, the error could not find library blah 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 .so in absolute path blah blah blah. No such file. Cannot open shared object file. No such file or directory. Possible cause can't load AMD64.so on the Arch 64 platform. So that's the kind of thing that you would get basically, because yeah, they are bound. Those agents are bound to the libraries from the distribution.
Cool. I haven't encountered this yet, but I will take a look.
Yeah, and basically also I'm sharing this this little comment because the cool thing is the addition of dash dash platform from the pack team, and with that you can really choose your destiny. You don't have to rely on the choices of your platform. You can say no, I want you to take this architecture path, and I guess that's basically the escape hatch of people with Macs, basically.
Sounds good.
Yeah, and yeah, Forrest, I was asking, Forrest or anyone else, I was asking if there are some other build packs than Java build packs that are dual arch.
Other than like utility build packs, there's no other language family that I'm aware of, and that's just because we haven't prioritized any work on it yet.
Okay.
I think that the next build packs to go would probably be like Go and Node.js. Because I don't believe that we compile anything for either of those. So those would be
Yeah.
quick, and they would also cover a large number of, or Go just because it'll be easy, and Node.js because it will cover a large number of use cases.
You know what? I'm not even sure that Go is going to be easy, because you can have so many variations when you think about it. Because with Go, you will have a possibility. I mean, I'm not saying this is a good thing, but at least you could ask yourself some questions such as, okay, if I have Go running on ARM64, I can still output a binary in ARM64 or AMD64 if I want to. You see what I mean? Is that with Go, you'll be able to have even more choice of doing things.
Yeah,
That's what
but that's all configurable by the user.
Yes, it will have to be. Yeah, you can definitely put that on the user. Yeah, the user could control the Go command line options, and they would actually choose things like that.
I guess I don't know that I really understand the benefit of running, because the only way that this like becomes relevant is like during build, I want to run on an ARM system. I guess that's maybe not unreasonable, right? During build, I want to run on an ARM system, but in production, I want to run on an AMD 64 system.
Yeah, exactly.
Which isn't totally unreasonable, but I think that probably the default we're going to assume, and the default that the default that we're going to assume is, given the architecture you build on will be, we expect that will be the same architecture you run on. And if that's not the case, then all you have to do is like, I mean, hell, you could just like, as an environment variable, just pass like Go Arch x86 or whatever, right? Or AMD 64, and then you're done.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. I'm just saying that, you can go wild with with Go because the base tooling allows for
Yeah, of course, but there's no way to be predictive about the there's no way to be predictive about, because it's a manifest file at the end of the day, right? Like the stack is a manifest file at the end of the day. There's no way for us to predictively know that you're running on one architecture, like a build on one architecture, and then something else on another. That will get into problems with like Node when you're compiling modules, like for like native modules, when they have to be compiled, you'll have to make sure that you're compiling on the correct architecture during build. But like, you should theoretically be able to do that. You should be able to do that as part of pack build, right? Like you should be able to aim the platform at that point. So even if you're running on an AMD 64 So if you're running on an ARM system, it'll have to go through like an x86 translation layer, like it already happened. So it'll already suck, but at least you'll have the option to build and test natively.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, with Node, to me, that is much simpler. It's just when you're going to execute npm install, this is when it's going to decide what are the dependencies that are going to be pulled on. And if you have dependencies that need to be compiled at that time, then it will just compile them for ARM64. I mean, if you're running on ARM64, and that's kind of perfect. I mean, it will just build the local libraries it needs on the proper platform. And so at runtime, everything will be fine because you will be running Node ARM64, for example, and then it will rely on dependencies that have been compiled on ARM64. So the story is kind of complete.
Right, but if you were to have, this is getting a little bit in the weeds, so sorry. But if you were to have like we were talking about, like say I wanted to build an image on my laptop and then push it to a repository and then have it be consumable by an x86 or an AMD 64
You will
processor.
use dash platform. That's it. You will use
Right.
dash platform x86.
But the build would still have to happen in x86 on an ARM platform, which is like not ideal, but I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
I
but this is what
imagine it's not ideal no matter how you do that.
I mean, honestly, what you're describing are basically Mac users on using Mac silicons, and this is what we're doing right now.
Sure.
So what we're doing basically is we're giving them now the option of being 100% ARM instead of doing everything x86.
Yeah, I think that's what that's sorry. That's what I was saying. It doesn't solve the like a we can't manifest out the actual binaries within our image, right? Like we couldn't do something where like we effectively compile for both x86 and AMD 64 on the same. I guess we
No,
could, but and maybe that's something to be interested about if you really wanted to get that deep into it. But like having like a multi-architecture output for
yeah,
a
that's true.
built image, but I don't know that that's inside the.
I'm pretty sure Pack will be responsible for that. And Pack will say, okay, I'm going to build twice, and I'm going to take the ARM64 path, and then I'm going to take the x86 path, and at the end, I'm going to merge the manifests. There's gonna be up to Pack to do that.
Are we talking about a multi-arch build right now?
Yeah, big
talking
if true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do our multi-arch builds supported in Pack right now? I just haven't. Okay.
No.
That's totally fine. I was thinking through the sort of
But yeah,
weird use cases.
that's interesting still.
It
No,
just
these
means
are-
that you'll have to be if you are manually uploading images, you'll have to be intentional about what system what the final system you're going to be running on is, and you'll have to like version the actual app images or like for a given architecture as it stands right now while multi-architecture builds don't exist.
Yeah, Pack has this manifest. Like you can create the manifest with Pack now because it has some manifest options, which
Yeah.
was the result of the previous mentorship project that I worked on. And then the last one we just finished was trying to get a proof of concept with BuildKit, and we almost got there, but not quite there yet. So, but we have the foundation for it. I think it's possible. We're not quite there yet, but we're talking about it already.
So in that solution, do you just basically build an ARM image, an AMD image, and then just like smash them together using Docker magic?
Yeah, in the current solution, you build twice, and then you either use Docker manifest or Crane, or you do Pack to, like you said, push them together into a manifest. But the future goal will be Pack build -- platform or -- target.
Yeah.
And then it will just do that for you because the build packs are multi-arch, so it'll just pull the right ones.
Exactly. From a Buildpack maintainer point of view, you just need to publish them into Arch. I mean, multi-Arch. But then it's going to be up to Pack to the tooling to actually be able to run two builds and merge them together.
Yeah, actually, you just made me think of something about this. I know we've been kind of chatting about, we're kind of meandering here, but going back to this proposal to multi-arch for multi-arch build packs. Like I think I brought this up before. Like the current testing works on GitHub releases. Like I think a lot of stuff, when you look at it, it's all GitHub release based, right? Like the URL that you're downloading, and in the multi-arch world, that's not really going to work, unless you're going to come up with some way to, determine the architecture for the release and somehow
So
pull that the right way.
are you talking about the dependencies?
Like for build packs, like if you're pulling a build pack.
Oh, well, so but all of the build packs actually do all live on registries too.
Right, but what I guess what I'm saying is like when we like for using build packs and for testing them, we probably want to be moving towards registry images only and not GitHub releases.
Yeah, I recently just put in an issue in the upstream where like the pack CNB file, like I sort of was like, either we kind of need to deprecate this as like an existing file that we can use because it's just no longer obtainable, or it needs to have, or it needs to behave like an upstream image would, right?
Like a
And
multi-arch.
yeah. So like given I have a multi-arch CNB, it runs effectively manifest logic for a CNB file, the same thing that it would for actually pulling a registry image. I'm not
But
sure
there's
that
much
that's
simpler. There's much simpler actually, Forrest. If you use a temporary registry such as ptr.sh, that's a real thing.
yeah, for sure. It does work, but I was like as it, because the file is an individually consumable item and like artifact, I have like an open issue that's like, this should probably work the same as an image when you pass it as like the same that you would pass an image. Whether or not that's like, I mean, I don't disagree. Does the manifest work when it's on the Docker daemon as well? So like no, okay. So like given a just like pack build without a publish, it would not work the same
Right.
as well.
So this is the thing, is that at least in April, when we were using the experimental pack CLI, so before 034 was out, the only way to get multi-arch was publishing. It would never do the it would never do the dual arch output. Pack would never do the dual arch output directly on the daemon. It had to publish. That I remember. 100%. I don't know if they fixed that, but at least 2 months ago, that was like this. It was impossible not to publish.
Yeah, so just to back that up, yeah, the strategy will be that Pack's going to run a local registry and publish. Like it's going to have to use a local registry as an intermediate to stitch things together if needed. So that is going to be the approach. But like I said, it's like we made progress, but we didn't get there. So, I don't have something to show you, unfortunately.
I think it's all good. I think that ultimately at the end, what this conversation has told me though, is that I actually only really do need to be focused on the happy path of both sides, right? Or not the happy path, but the matched sets, right? Like because everything else will be handled at the end by another operation that Pack does. So I only need to worry about building valid ARM on ARM images and only need to worry about building valid AMD on AMD images. And then once those images are both proven to be valid, then I can say like, okay, fine, then we can run it. Like Pack will then find some way to make those a multi-architecture, not only a multi-architecture build pack, but also a multi-architecture final image. I don't need to worry about like, will my configuration of ARM running on like ARM configured to build a AMD app run on a final AMD image? I don't need to be worried about that because at the end of the day, it'll all come out in the wash.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that has answered all of my questions. Awesome. And then there's one final RFC. I have heard nothing back on this from about 2 weeks ago. I may ping this later today, the author later today, and say, hey, how's it going? Need any help? But this, I talked about this last week. The specific ask feels a lot more like it's something that should go into pack when we do pack build pack package. It should like just read the build pack toml and add like a title, a version, a URL, a description. It could then, add like whatever source material, whatever revision, that sort of thing, right? Like that should all happen during pack build pack package, I think. And be added as such. There was another question about like, oh, does it make sense for this to also end up on the app images? I'm not necessarily opposed to that, but you can do that. Like, no, and by the way, I can't. When I say you can do that, there is like the image labels build pack, and all of these are like top level environment variables for that build pack to set because they're like OCI set labels. So I asked this author to go upstream and open an issue, and I haven't heard anything or seen anything. I'll check the upstream again, and then if I haven't seen anything, I'll be like, hey, need any help? Can I do anything to help here? So that's pretty much it. Anything else on any of these RFCs?
Because just a quick question on the current build packs that are multi-arch. So when you guys publish them, are you testing them too, or is it still only being tested on AMD 64? Like, I haven't looked at the code for a little while. Like, are you testing them on ARM as well, or are we just testing them on AMD 64?
We don't have that many integration tests for Java build packs, first of all.
Okay. You
And
don't. You're not. Okay.
the only ones that we got are basically running on the samples repo, where regularly we're going to just build the samples. But we're not doing that yet on ARM64, and we should.
Okay, that's fine. Well, I'm just bringing it up because we actually have our own builders that are multi-arch, and we do test anything you're publishing. We're pulling in and testing. So if I find an issue, I'll let you know about it. But we haven't found any issues yet. So you have some form of testing in the community, and since you haven't heard any problems, it's because it's working. So just wanted to confirm.
That's good.
The Node and Go will have like their normal battery of integration tests, and we'll almost definitely once we convert them to ARM, be running at least one ARM runner. I don't know if I don't know exactly how we'll decide that. So whether or not we'll be running an ARM runner for every version of a builder that supports that, or if we'll just be running it for like either Noble or Jammy, or I don't know
Hey.
what the process will be.
You know what, Forrest? Last week there was an update. Finally, GitHub, but only GitHub Enterprise, they have ARM64 runners now.
I think that we have some like jet runners that are ARM64.
Yeah, but they are indeed, but the number of 3 minutes is pretty limited. You will run into that limit, I
Okay.
think. So, anyways. Yeah,
It
we definitely have options, but
it might ultimately be that like the testing we get initially until more ARM runner support comes out is like in just like the Buildpacks family, basically like at the top level when things are merged in. I don't know. I can't speak to what the
yeah.
all right. Are there any other questions?
Not on RFCs.
All right, well, then, hold on, jump back. Give me a second here.
Yes.
Do we have any CMD C and B updates or questions?
No, I mean, I gave my update that the mentorship project went well, but we don't have anything to show for it yet. There should be a blog post coming soon that talks about it, and then we'll create. That should allow us to move forward with actually implementing something in pack pretty soon.
Nice.
That's good.
Anything else? All right, project updates. The only relevant project update I can think of is that this week should be the first week where we have automatic implementation build pack update releases, like implementation build pack releases. So the highest Semver draft release will be released, I believe, sometime on Wednesday. I can double check that, but yeah. This is just this was an addition to hopefully help us keep the hygiene high and the release schedule on track with much less manual intervention from maintainers. All right, anything else? Great. Open mic questions and discussion topics. First one is multi-arch build pack question.
Yeah,
What
I
do you
just
think?
tracked the stuff that was previously discussed there because it didn't fit anywhere else. So the second two bullets are active.
Cool. Any other okay, sorry, second two. Okay, so the thoughts on splitting out Java options. I assume
Who's
Yeah.
asking?
That's me.
Okay.
I mean, I can talk about it, and then I need to post something in Slack, but I just wanted to bring it up here and even just like start the discussion. So we've been building a lot of Java apps using Buildpacks, and you don't really know how something's going to work until you start using it regularly and moving apps that were built one way to a new way. So anyhow, we found a couple of apps that just would not run right with the 10 megabyte default setting. So after a lot of trial and error, the only way that we could get this app to run was to remove that setting. And initially we did it with, I don't know if you want to take all these notes because it's kind of a brain dump, but initially we did it by just changing the entry point and like setting the path for Java and all that stuff, you know. Just so I could get it to work, period. But actually, I have my own build packs that I use.
Wait, Jericho.
Yes,
Are you talking about the Java memory calculator or not?
yes, I am talking about the memory calculator.
Okay. And you cannot opt out from the Java memory calculator, right? So this is why you're talking about changing the entry point or using another build pack.
Yes, even you can't. I don't want. All right, so let me back up. I want to use the Java build pack to get the Java runtime. So I don't want to do it any other way. But then, like you said, you can't opt out of the memory calculator because it's an execd executable that runs always. So the only way to get around it is to modify the environment variables after it runs, or use a different entry point and don't use launcher and basically set your environment up yourself. It's really ugly. And so I have my own custom build pack that basically after the Java memory calculator runs, I go in and then I update the Java tool options and remove this one setting. But what I'm getting at is, like, has anyone ever encountered any issue where they needed to remove one of these settings, specifically this one? I feel like the other ones I don't really have a problem with. I can work around them. But this one seems to be a problem when it's set to a value. When it's not set to a value, whatever Java does as a default works great. But when it's set to a value, the apps crash and I can't do anything about it other than just.
So I guess that your need is because you're going to consume a lot of heap memory, right? Probably because you're going to cache stuff.
These apps in particular are using like a Redis client. That, I mean, like my knowledge of Java and heap memory and what does and doesn't use heap memory is not that great. So yeah, I'm kind of throwing this out here. Just to get the conversation going.
Okay, so anyways, the Java memory calculator supports, I mean, it recognizes many options. So specifically this one, I can't remember on top of my head, max direct memory size. Have you looked if if it's one of the properties that because the properties that it recognizes, it respects them. So if, for example, you said something that it was
Yes.
about to contribute, if it sees that the user has said something, it's going to respect that. So I'm just saying, have you checked that? Yeah, I guess you did.
I've
Okay.
tried setting it to like 0. I guess I haven't tried setting it to nothing, but I doubt that would work. Um, like the problem I have is setting it period is problematic, and the memory calculator forces you to set it one way or another. You either get 10 megabytes as the default, or you have to specify something larger or smaller.
Oh, and then yeah, and you wanted the Java runtime to do the calculation itself.
Yeah, I don't want to set this one value. So
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, okay.
yeah, I feel like I'm touching the third rail here when I talk about changing the memory calculator settings. But like, has anyone encountered this before? Probably not. No one's complained about it before. Anyone
I mean,
said anything or whatever?
there had been many complaints about Java memory calculator default assumptions. So, but so far, the rule of thumb was to say that Java memory calculator is right because everything works fine in Cloud Foundry as well as with Java Buildpack because it's used in both places actually. So it's used a lot. Now there is a new attempt of I don't know how to say that, an attempt, or at least, there is the will to reevaluate things with regard to the Java memory calculator. And it's coming from not for max direct memory size, but it's rather coming from people wanting to run on very limited resources. So for example, if you want to run a Java process with less than 512 megabytes of memory, right now, the Java memory calculator won't let you do that because the way it calculates, it cannot go below 700 megabytes. So we're having this discussion right now. Actually, it's funny because I talked to Ben Helm yesterday about this, and yeah, we're definitely trying to see if those Java memory calculator assumptions that have been very nice and very helpful for the last 7 years, do they still make sense for everybody now? And I totally get what you're saying, and yeah, that's true. What you're saying is true. That you cannot not give XX direct memory size right now, even if you would like not to give it. You're right. Java memory calculator won't let you do that. So we're just trying to explore things right now, and maybe an outcome. I'm just saying maybe because I really, really don't know if that's what we're going to do, but could we actually opt out from the Java memory calculator, from the Java Buildpack? So, it's in libjvm. So could it be an option to libjvm to say, no, I'm good. Let the JVM decides for me. We'll see.
Yeah, that's an interesting idea. I like, not to keep talking about it, but some developers are just like very used to controlling the memory settings themselves, and I think that's kind of been a shift to switching them over to Buildpacks. It's like, sorry, we're gonna handle the memory stuff for you. It's helpful, but they're just we're having to change a lot of stuff just to make that work.
Right, and if you look at the history of Cloud Foundry and Buildpacks, we try to make good decisions for the users. So that's kind of
Yeah. No, I like the memory calculator, actually. I don't really have any complaints about it. The only it's not a complaint, but the only maybe feature request actually is just that if we could control it somehow, like if the user could somehow say, I really like everything but this. I'm an informed user and I want to opt out from this only. That would be helpful. Is Slack the best, like the Java channel, Slack the best place to kind of have this conversation?
I think so, yeah.
Okay,
Definitely think so. Yeah, you would have Dan, me, David. Yeah, it's
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'll start a thread there. I just haven't joined these for a little bit, so I just wanted to kind of get some human feedback, on a call, and then take it to the Slack.
yeah, but you're totally right in your pursuit. That's that's an issue.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Are there any other open mic questions or discussion topics?
Yes, I have one. I'm sorry, I haven't written it down. Noble Builders. I know some PRs are already there, not exactly merged yet. I don't know if we can have an ETA or whatnot. You know, we've been out for 2 months, and yeah, I wish that we could move forward with Noble Builders and have them, um, yeah, and have them all out, official, and even part of pack suggested builders. Well, that'd be great.
I don't think that we'll get them part of pack suggested builders until they are natively multi-arch. I know that that was something that Jan really wanted in terms of saying that they are feature complete for this particular set of builders. So before like that we say that they're like a fully supported set of builders, I don't think that that will be true until the multi-arch, but I don't see any reason why we shouldn't have at least all of the build packless builders live. I have gone through and approved all of the PRs that would initialize them, and I have left them open at the discretion of the original pull request author to merge, because I do not know if they're waiting to either add more features or what have it. I can go around and poke all of those PRs if that's what's needed, but yeah, that's my understanding when I last talked to Jan and we're talking about like timelines for Noble. He was saying that he didn't want to have it be like an officially supported suggested Paketo builder until it was natively multi-arc.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, I remember it's one of the, I don't know where it was written, but yeah, you're right. There was always this assumption that from Noble, everything would be dual arch, always. And yeah, I mean, that's totally a good plan. That sounds great to me. And yeah, I just wish that, you know, I don't think we have built back less tiny yet, no? In Noble?
One of them is released. I don't remember which one.
So at least there's a build pack less that is already there.
Yeah, it might be Buildpackless Noble, Buildpackless Base. Or it could be
Okay.
Noble, Buildpackless Tiny. I'm almost 100% confident it's not full.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's fine. At least one. And yeah, honestly, yeah, I just wish we had just at least one, you know, to start testing it out.
I think there is one. And I think that we
Okay.
explicitly merged one in for that. And then I guess the final open mic question is it's Paketo election season. Nominees were elected, and your two nominees for this cycle are Jan and Jericho. I don't know, Jericho, if this is a surprise for you to find this out. I didn't know where you were on that. So please feel free to vote. There is a link to that. There's a link to the Electro that you need to sign into. Anyone that has committed, quote unquote, meaningfully to the project in the last 12 months is eligible to submit a vote. And you can change that vote all the way up until voting closes. If you have any issues, there is a form that you can fill out in order to, you know, correct your eligibility if you feel that that is something that you should have.
Yeah, I'd just like to say that if me somehow getting elected over Jan kind of changes progress on stuff he's working on, just keep him in, elect him. You know, I didn't realize I was going to be competing with him. Thought there was more than one chair available.
Next year, the two chairs will be available. It is a two chair, one chair oscillation.
That's fine. Yeah, I don't want to interrupt any progress. So, you know, if Jan's the right person, that's cool with me. I'll still join these meetings anyway.
Like that completely ruins my bit about asking for money to vote for you.
I would have to make people. I have to pay people to vote for me. That's what I'm going to do. Cool.
any auditors ever watching this playback later on, no, we totally not talking about money for votes. This is just jokes, honest.
Exactly.
Right, before we get ourselves in any more trouble with the CFFTOC, I think that it's probably good for us to call this meeting here.
Sounds good.
All right.
Nick Errol, see you on the next.
See ya.
Bye.